congratulations as continue on and wait. We will be starting in a moment. Thank you so much.
I am sick. Number 4 is 0012-66. That's good. Heavenly Father, we are grateful because of who you are. We want to thank you because of your mighty deeds, O Jehovah, and you are great God. We worship you and we exalt your name, Jehovah. This moment, Lord, we thank you for this investment company, Kimisitu. We give you praise and worship. So this far is you who have brought us, O Jehovah. Thank for this meeting, we dedicate to you, Jehovah, and pray that God, whatever you are going to declare, O God, for the example of Jehovah, that you are going to be with us, O God, and you enable us, O God. Give us wisdom and knowledge, and help us to be able to be bound together, Jehovah, and do things which are relevant to you. We thank you and we exalt your name. Be glorified. Bless each one of us, for you are great God. We worship and we exalt you in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. You know that the Lord has permitted us to proceed. Now we can start the business of the day. And once again, Karibu Sana. Our shareholders today is a 12th annual meeting that we are doing since the start of COVID, which was 2019, the last time that we had this call. We know with the risk of the COVID brought a lot of challenges, but we have managed to excel through the challenges. My name is Jacob Wiso. I'm the board chair at your chairman. I'm a civil engineer by profession, and I work with the UN, specifically for Food and Agriculture Organization. At this point, before we start, I want to invite to introduce to you the team, the visa that we have today, so that you can be able to recognize and appreciate their coming. And I will start with our own staff. If they are ready, please, if the staff are ready, they can come to the front very quickly. If the staff comes to the front, let me start introducing the company secretary. Everybody in just show up your hand. And introduce our main partner and our mother. Our mother circle is Kimisitu Investment Company, meaning Kimisitu Circle. And I will start by introducing the two members who are here with us. They can rise up and show up by their hands. We have the chairman of the board, that is Chris Abuba. Just show up by waiting on the board. That's our chairman in the circle, our mother, and our father. Then we have Luanda Bechi, the CEO of the circle. Yes, thank you so much, guys, for coming and sending the mother. At this point, please take the mic, and Chris will review the staff from the way they stand. Thank you so much, Chris. Take it up.
Good morning. Yeah, I'll start introducing myself. My name is Chris Pasagoti. I'm the acting general manager. Then I'll start from the far left side. We have Daniel Mushema, the accountant. You can raise your hand. We have Evans, who is the internal auditor. We have Stella Amina, the sales executive. Peter Mogaka, sales executive. Ruth Fuyara, the office assistant. Ali Amrafa, the sales executive, Ali. We have Alan Imidiki, accounts assistant, Salome Oida, admin assistant, Mutulu Gil, sales executive. We have Adelaide Etienne, IT and customer care. And finally, we have Victoria Makangaru, the sales executive. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. Chris never mentioned his name, but he's the acting GM. You must have met Chris last year. He's been acting several times. And Chris, thank you. I will introduce you. You know, you introduce yourself. We have our registrars, C&R. I've seen Kerian Makatiani. The general was the first one to come. Yes, Kerian. Thank you. There she is. They are our registrars from mid of last year. Our new registrars. We have next. We have the auditors, and this is our auditors for this financial year that we are reporting today. And we have the two of them. I'll start with Bulemi. Let me show up your hand to Yaolas. We have Brian Kamusali. They were here last year, but you are not here. You saw them online. At this point in time, and if I forget you, I will keep on introducing you. I'm reminded. You see here, I will introduce you. At this point, I want to go to our board members, and I will ask them to stand, but they will be able to raise up their hand. And we start with the vice chairman, Gladys Karibu. That's our honorable vice chair, Madam Gladys. We have the board secretary, Mr. Patrick Kalube. Thank you, Patrick. We have Jamie from Sioki. That's our risk and audit chair committee. We have Mr. Simon Guru. That's our CPA guru in the board. He's one who's leading us in the board, is the operation chair. We have Mr. Martin Guru, the man behind the investments. That is the investment and business development committee chair. Then lastly, we have the last one, who is the legal chairman. He joined last year after you voted him in. He's our last one, and he's an engineer, just to mention, so that you know that when I'm studying, I'm leaving someone behind there. Patrick and the legal engineers, all of them. Then, during the financial year that we are reporting today, we had a SACCO nominee in the board. She is called Evelyn Ochen. Evelyn Ochen retired in the SACCO in February. So she's not with us, but she was part of the business that we are reporting today. Let me say that in the absentia, we had a GM who also product expired last year, December. Esther Ogera was our GM until last year, 31st of December. And so she was also part of what achievement that we are reporting today. So at this point in time, without much ado, I want to invite the company secretary, Mr. Gilbert Lemoya, to propose and confirm the presence of quorum for the business can start. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, shareholders. I wish to confirm that at the time the chairman called this meeting to order, we had 106 shareholders registered to participate in this annual general meeting, either in person or by proxy. Therefore, I confirm that this meeting is properly constituted to proceed with business. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Now that you have given the powers and the mandate to proceed, that we are safe and nobody is going to sue us for making the wrong decisions, I want to declare this meeting properly constituted and convened. So at this point, we are starting our business, and I want to call again the company secretary to read the notice convening this meeting.
Members, the notice convening this meeting was dispatched by email to each one of you, and it was uploaded on the company's website. For your attention, I'll go ahead and read the notice. Notice is hereby given to shareholders that in accordance with Article 73A of the Articles of Association of the company, the 12th annual general meeting of the company shall be held on 22nd, 2023, that is today, at the Nairobi Hospital's amphitheater, when the business set out below shall be transacted. The order of business to be transacted at this meeting is as follows. 1, to table the proxies and not the presence of quorum, which I have just done. 2, to read the notice of convening the meeting, which I'm doing. 3, to confirm the minutes of the 11th annual general meeting held on 25 April 2022. 4, to consider and adopt the unaudited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2022, together with the reports of the chairman, the general manager, and the auditors. 5, to approve the proposed dividend at 0.6 shillings per fully paid up share at the that is as at 31st December 2022 to the shareholders. Number 6, to approve proposed directors' fees at 6% of the after-tax profit for the year ended 31st December 2022. 7, retirement and the election of 2 directors to fill the following vacancies. 1, in accordance with the Articles of Association, 2 directors shall be retired at this AGM. That constitutes 1/3 of the board membership. That is Engineer Jacob Musio, that is the chairman. He shall be retiring and he is not eligible for re-election, having served the maximum 10 consecutive years on the board. 2, we have Ms. Gladys Talini, who retires by operation of retirement by rotation, and being eligible for election, she shall offer herself for re-election. Number 8, agenda number 8, to appoint auditors of the company for the current financial year. Number 9, any other business. This notice was issued by order of the board. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Bwana Secretary. We have to do a lot of work there on the mic. It is good for our health. Now, thank you, Vivek. Our other agenda item is to confirm the minutes of the 11th AGM that was held on the 3rd of April 2022. And the link of the minutes were sent to the shareholders through their emails or through the company website. And at this point, before we proceed, we always confirm the minutes of the previous AGM, because we didn't have the minutes. So members who might have gone through the minutes, I want to ask you, one to propose and one to second, so that you can be able to confirm the minutes before we proceed. So at this point, I'll ask staff to stay with the mics for the 2 members of shareholders. So, someone to propose the minutes?
It's still 11, propose the minutes from the last AGM.
11? Someone to second? Yes, I can probably understand.
Peter Oyeko, one of the founder members, etc.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our board member, our first board member, who retired. Laban, can you stand? I didn't see you until you talked. Laban Musundi was a board secretary for a very long time and is one who recruited him to the board. Thank you, Laban, for coming and showing your support to the board and the company. Thank you. Now the company financial reports, financial statements for the year ended at 5 December 2022, and the report of the directors and others are contained in the integrated report, which has been unveiled on the committee website. The shareholders have had ample time to review the rules and the contents. I recommend that you take the reports as read. Ladies and gentlemen, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for taking time to attend this AGM. Now it's time to present the reports for both the chair and the GM report. But before I do this, I need to give the SACCO chairman 2 minutes to greet you. And you know, all of you are the members of the SACCO, so he's your chairman. So chairman, Karibu, come and greet your people, and then I'll come after you.
The chairman, the ACL, the board of directors, the company secretary, the staff, all the guests, and the honorable members of KICL and Kimisitu SACCO. Good morning once again. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being here as the chair of Kimisitu SACCO. And as you are all aware, and the chair has actually mentioned, Kimisitu SACCO and Kimisitu Investment are actually one and the same thing for most of us members. And I think for a very long time, and I don't know when this long time will end, as members, we've always confused. You meet a member and then they ask you, you are selling some land. You are from the board, but then a member asks you, there's some land you are selling. But then they don't understand that the SACCO does not sell lands. Rather, the SACCO is giving money to buy land, but KICL sell land. So that is how much we are together. Otherwise, we really appreciate so much having born KICL. 12 years now, a lot has happened, and I know there's a lot that still is in the pipeline to happen. As a SACCO, I can confirm that together with my board, we have a full commitment to KICL. And important to note is until I think 4 years ago, when there was a proposal to have one of the directors being seconded from the SACCO, it was actually a show of how much the SACCO supports KICL and how much as a SACCO we really want to be in touch with what's happening with KICL. All members of KICL are actually members of Kimisitu, as I've said, and I think for us, we really want to support the members in terms of accessing both the products of both KICL and also Kimisitu SACCO. Come to us, we'll give you money. Then you go and buy plots which are being sold by KICL. In that, we will be doing the so-called symbiotic relationship, and we'll be building both. Remember, in the SACCO, you get your dividends. And when you go to KICL, you also get your dividends. So you will be making more money by trading with both. So I urge all of us here, the members who are here, and even those members who have not come physically, that there's a big opportunity. As a SACCO, we have so much money to offer to members to get plots. Just to share a bit, because I will have 2 minutes only, I think Chairman will share with you that there's a lot of discussion in the pipeline. Our Makawalisi product is a good partnership in terms of us being able to fund even those plots which have not been titled. And in this, we're actually looking at KICL to be a guarantee to members. So when they have plots, members, you are able to come without a title and we'll give you money to go and purchase plots from KICL. Is that a good thing? Are you going to take advantage of that? It's actually on, and just contact the SACCO and also KICL so that you can enjoy the good Makawalisi product. Remember, there's no way you get a product like Makawalisi 1% per month you pay in all those many years, up to 180 months. Very long. The second thing is in terms of the partnership. I think as we speak, we are supporting KICL a lot. When you come to our FOSA, you find KICL as a desk. So member who comes to the FOSA and want to get information about KICL is able to see a marketing officer of KICL and know the plots that are there. There's a lot of advertisements we are doing for KICL in our website. Recently, we launched the Kisumu office. If you walk into that office, one of the big desks you'll see there is for KICL staff. And all this we are doing because this is a mother and a child. It's only that there comes a time when the child has to leave the mother's house. Ilifanyika. It did happen. But as the parent, we are still holding KICL very close to our heart. And again, just a challenge to the board members on some of the partnerships which we have been offering. I know one of the things I've read in the report is the effect of IFRS. Yes, that's one, eh? Yes, IFRS 15, which again I know has really affected the financial performance of KICL in terms of what has to be reported in the book. But if we can grow the partnerships, where you come, we give you money, and then you let the circle now deal with the members, give the money, pay you to have plots, fully paid plots, but then the circle also has sold loans. Then through our debt recovery or through the interaction with the members, we can now collect the loan from the members. I think that is very important. And my last statement, we have a very big opportunity for KICL. As we speak, I know our shares are almost fully paid up. And not even 10%, I think about 20%, but less also, members of the circle are actually members of KICL. We have a big market. Currently, we speak about 13,000 active members. That is a market for the products I've seen you are sharing. And the most important thing is, how do we harness these members? We are, the new government is talking about affordable housing. There's a lot of effort to that. But how do we capture and be key players in this space? SACCO will give you money. You play the leading role in terms of the partnership and getting into the affordable housing space. Remember, as SACCO, we are not allowed to buy land. We are not allowed to build plots. We are not allowed to sell land or sell plots or sell houses. But through KICL, I think it's one of the key areas we can see how to partner and ensure that our members are benefiting from the affordable housing scheme that the government is currently trying to encourage members to participate in. So that is a challenge to our daughter, KICL, and as a circle, like I've said, we will support you by providing the financials, by funding members to buy this. Otherwise, I do appreciate so much, and I really thank the board for the work they have done. I've looked through the books. There's a lot that has been happening, but at least I was talking with my CEO and we were just smiling that at least we'll be taking something home based on the work that the directors did. Is that something beautiful? Who does not want to get something from the investment? And we really need to clap for the directors. Otherwise, thank you so much, Chair, and it's my pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Chair, you have done my work. Chair Chris, you have done my work. You made it very easy for me. I will just finish from where you left. Let me say, before I start the reading presentation, I want to let me start by echoing what Chris has said. We have always said, when it comes to the AGMs and the education days, we have always said buy Kimisitu, build Kimisitu. And we are living that dream and that reality. That investment these days, we ensure with the SACCO. And we have opened our first account with the SACCO, and we are the first corporate member with the SACCO. So when you go to open day, those who are going to give guidance, you must have seen a tent by the SACCO on the side and all the other open days. The SACCO does their work, and the Kimisitu investment does their work on the side. And we are doing this even at the office. The mother is accommodating us as much as they are grown babies. We are still at the SACCO. We have not moved out, and the SACCO is not willing to move us anytime soon because we are here to stay and we are symbiotic. It's called symbiotic, where we benefit from each other. So that's what we are doing, and I believe it's going to continue for the benefit. One thing I want to say is the issue that is affecting most people is financial. Everybody has financial constraints, and the land is, I would say, land is not a necessity, but is a need. And you find that when you are buying land, you may not have the cash to pay for the deposit. And what we have been doing of late, which will be shared with you not today, but very soon by the management, we are coming to an agreement with the SACCO where you can be able to get a loan without a title, because KCR has a title. And we need to get a way of cushioning you in the security part of it, because before you take a loan, they ask you for a title. But now the title comes in after you are done with the payment. How do we use our titles as investment to secure you at the SACCO so you get a loan? And then we saw this issue that we are calling IFRS 15, which I'm going to explain today. And if I don't explain properly, my CPS will come in and try to dig in and make you understand that if we paid everything in advance, we paid all the money 100% at the booking point, we are going to make our money on the spot. But if we pay in installments, we are going to make our money after the 100% payment, which will be after 1 year. So that I go to the presentation of today. This is the 12th annual general meeting, and I want to present to you the report for 2022. And as you all know that since I became the chair of this board, or the chair of the company, I've never done fiscal AGM. Purely because I came in 2020 November, when it was the peak of COVID, when nobody knew what was happening. People thought that when you have COVID, you are gone, and no meeting could be held. That's when we started. And in 2020, I think there was no business at all, and we have gone through the COVID-19. We have tried to weather the storms, and we have at least come out with some profitability. I will not say that is the best, but with the challenges. Then after this, we came to what we are calling the factors that are affecting our business. When we talk of some things like environmental factors, we are talking of political. We are talking of political. When we look at environmental factors, let's look at what the government is doing of late. The government is selling a lot of land. These low-cost housing, you have seen them on the papers. They are all over. The counties are doing it as well. And you remember the government is subsidizing their houses. So a challenge that we have with the SACCO is to get in that mix and also get a take of this housing, because if you do this housing as an investment company, your price may not compete with the government. The government has the resources. We are not funding the government to do that. So we want to see how much we can get involved, and that will be discussed between ourselves and the SACCO to see how we can be able to make the mix. Political 2022, everybody knows there were camps in the political space, and nobody wants to spend money. From the experience that we had in 2007, nobody wants to spend money in buying land when they don't know what will happen after August 2022. So most people, and when you are selling, I will be told by the management that there's also a law, because people are waiting to see what will happen. And after it happened, it was not easy, and it hasn't been easy until last month. We had Mandamano and many other things, and the people are continuing being affected by the business. And that was when we were supposed to be recovering. And then it became Ukraine and Russia. Everybody is using Russia and war. Even when they have their loans, they want to keep it because of Russian and Ukraine war. But it has affected everybody. That's a reality, but we are saying that we are still trying to survive through the storms because there's nothing we can do other than pressing on, because I believe things are coming to, we have a government for the next 5 years and it can only get better. When you're at the bottom, you can never go beyond the bottom, you can only rise up. Economics is what I've talked about, and what I'm showing you on that picture is Harmony Garden. We did a wall, those who are customers in Harmony Gardens, we did a boundary wall. We are doing something called value addition to our properties, and this value addition is selected, because we don't do a boundary wall in an area which is has no settlement, because the boundary wall will be next to a cost to your price for the plot, but you're not going to be settling there anytime soon. But we look at the environment. So we do this, we have done this in Kitegela. This is the third project that we did, and this one was early this year. We are doing handover to the owners, and those who are here can attest that you can go in and build, and you only need to worry about your project, not about the security, because we have guardrails that can protect your materials and your staff. Technological, we have been through this when we talk of COVID-19, we had a lot of new things came. Those who have kids in PP1, PP2, people know about Zoom. And I know before COVID, we knew about Skype. We know Zoom, we know Teams, we know so many of them. Now, we had to go through this and do social media marketing. And then we also have this ERP system, financing system that we are using, and which is making work easier and reporting to be accurate. And we are also going to go by the technologies, because otherwise, if you don't move the technology, you're going to be left behind, and you will not be able to cope with the competition. Okay, now, when you go to legal, as I said, I'm an engineer, but if I've understood this concept of IFRS 15, which you always pronounce that, unless you update it, you may not even know the S. We are going to comply with this new financial accounting standards. It's actually international financial standards, accounting standards. And why this IFRS 15 is a very big and important animal in the investment. It came to effect in 2018. We have been trying to understand it, and it was not implemented immediately because everybody was trying to understand it. And I want to break it down and take a bit of time to break it down, and I hope you'll understand if I've understood it. IFRS 15, it means when you sell a property and you book a plot, we normally say deposit is 30% of the total value of that plot. When you pay 30%, before 2022, we would recognize that as a sale, and that plot will be recognized, the total price of the plot and what was the profit that was coming from the sale will be recognized immediately we pay the deposit of that percent. So when we were reporting last year, 2022, the reports for 2021, we were reporting based on that previous practice that we were using before, and it was used by everybody. And then, when you make your money before the money comes to you, you'll have the money on paper, but in the pockets, you haven't got the money. So, let me give you an example. You book a plot in December 2021, and you put a payment plan of 6 months. That plot is recognized as a sale, and the profit is going to be in part of their financial reports for 2021, but the money is going to come in 2022 after the 6 months installment payments. Now, that will mean that the money that we are receiving last year, 2022, were already accounted for as profits in 2021. Now, coming to 2022, we were advised by our auditors, and we, as a board, we said, let us follow the law. It was unanimous that we follow the law. 2022, those people that booked plots in January, they were recognized as a booking. Money comes in, yes, you have the cash flow in the bank, but in the books, you are not recognized that as a sale until you pay 100%. And many people, some pay cash, but they also pay cash are very few, and most of you will pay in 6-9 months. So if you bought a plot in June last year, 2022, and you pay 30%, and your payment was completed in February this year, that was not recognized in our profits. So what we are saying, that's a deferred income that we are going to recognize in 2023, but it won't be the report that we are giving you today. So I will tell you that when it started and the board members are here, they cannot even say the correct thing. In January to June last year, we were so scared because we were making losses. Is that true? We were making losses until June last year because what we were receiving last year up to June was the sale of 2021, which had already been reported as a profit. So until June, when now the new bookings from January were being paid 100%, then now started getting close the line from the negative to the positive. So what we are reporting today is exactly what has been paid 100%. I want to be very clear. I'll take on this because it's a serious issue. But I can tell you the benefit is that now moving on, the future is bright because now we have no baggage of carrying, getting money that has already been accounted for. Whatever we are getting today is the reality, and now what we are getting in 2023 is what was sold last year. And I can say that we have cash flow now more than we had before because now we have the money in the pocket and we are able to buy property. So hope that was clear. If it's not, it will be explained by the auditors when they come to the floor. Now the company progress and the performance in the last 5 years. We want to do a comparison from 2018 to 2022. If you can see this, I want you to go to the first line, the sales. Then the last one will be the profit. In between here, we can look at it, but I'll go through the first one. If you look at the performance of the company, we have been growing slowly but steady. In 2019, we dropped a bit. That was then in 2020 when we were talking about this COVID and everything. I remember this the time that we struggled, we grew a bit to 108 million. 2021 we went to 118 million, and this one was before IFRS. Today we have sold total sales of more than 3 million. And remember, if this was to come clear and give you the actual sales, assume that you are going through the bigger system, this increase will be more than 3 million. Because if you are to go by the 30% deposit, the sales team are great damage. If I want to show you something here, the gross profit was more than last year. You see. And then the other incomes and then the expenses. You'll ask yourself why the expenses are so much compared to the previous 24 million and 36 million, which is a difference of 12 million. What we are saying is the staff who are doing the sales have already been paid for the commissions because the maker said they are paid commission. We don't tell them that we are going to give you commission once the customer has paid 100%. So what we are saying is that the money that we are recognizing here after 100% payment, which has not come to us to be recognized, we have already paid for the costs. We have employed a staff to work at Kimisitu, Kimisitu Sacco. That staff was not there when we were starting this year, last year in May, and we have also added salespeople, their commissions and a retainer. We noticed that we were losing salespeople because of the retainer. And then we looked at we benchmarked and we noticed when you benchmark and you find that other people are paying retainer, you're not paying retainer, or you're not paying a good retainer, you lose your staff. We lost a very good sales team. Then when we got a new sales team, we sat down and said, we cannot do this. We train people for 3 months, we lose them because of competitors. So we added the sales, and we always say that when you sell more, you also spend more. This one should be the range of 150. So the sales and the costs are going hand in hand. So you find that going by the same trend, we have been getting, 2018 was a bad one, 2019 was a bad one. We came, steadily started growing. This is at the time I became the chair of the board, 2020. 2021 we made 9 million. And then we have made 5.8 million. This was a given. They will be expounded when you want to ask questions, and we are free for any question because we are saying the truth. So that's where we are, but I can tell you it's going to be better this year because in June last year, the as I've said, were negative. I was even asking myself, how would I stand in front of you? But I was saved by the reality because the money came in, and now I'm able to stand here with confidence and I present the accounts. We last year, December 2022, our former strategic plan was expiring, and we got a consultant. Luckily, Bwana Chair, the consultant was also a SACCO member. So we were lucky that we got also someone who understands ourselves, not a shareholder, but a SACCO member. And we went through the strategy, and we came up with a new strategy that is 2023-2027, which we are now changing the approach because we have been able to review the previous one and see the areas that we never performed, mainly because the reasons were there, and even if we were to try, the ground had changed, or the ground had moved with the new challenges. So we have come up with this because let me tell you, the real estate business, housing are not growing. Just look at it. Go and read properly. Many companies are getting the payment on Oakland, and if you look at the end of the day, the companies are changing face. A company was called Company Z. By the fourth year, the company is called Company X. Because when you're not able to sell and give customers money, you keep on changing your name to continue with the business. But you ask Kimisitu investment and it's your company, you can go after an error method and look at it. So what we have noticed is that there's a lot of competition with the government, and houses are not going. Those who are selling them are struggling with the houses, and the houses are coming with the loans, with a lot of baggage. You take a loan and you can't pay the loan, and we are talking with people's money. You don't take a loan unless you want to pay the loan. But we are looking at working with the SACCO, and they work with the SACCO with our lease plan, and even the real estate plan with the SACCO. We work with the SACCO. And there's something in progress. We are looking for a facility because we know we are benefiting each other, not the commercial banks. So we have a lot of things which can be measured by Chris when it comes to the phone. So diversification, we looked at diversification, many ways of diversifying our business. And we also said that as a company, we can't compete with the Mama Boga. You don't compete with your customer. You compete with, you bring money to your customer, not to compete with the customer. So we looked at many businesses, material business. If you do material business, how is it doing currently? Unless you do a fleet, it's not for Kimisitu investment. So what we have said is something called, as you do value addition, anybody settling need water. We know the government cannot supply water in every estate that we have. So we started with the water business in the Ketegela Milimani one there. The business is doing well. I think based on what we have done, we have recouped our costs of drilling and equipping the ball. Now what we are doing is just earning from the ball. And what we have done, we have around 140 families that we are connecting with the community construction. Now what we have done, we have said, when you move to a new project and there's space for business, that means there's demand for water. We have done a market survey. We are going to be drilling a ball and connecting people, because ideally when you go to a scheme and you do a ball, the law will not allow you to do another ball, anybody to do another ball in the same coach because of the distances, the requirements from one ball to the next. So we do the ball, people coming in, we find water on site and we are selling the water as a business for us. What we are doing now is to grow the business. Though we have been doing it, we are still strategizing how to grow the business. And then before people settle, we are selling to boosters. In terms of volumes, not metering, but volume people that have boosters. So that's one area we are looking at. We're also looking at a lot of plots that we have reserved in selected projects. What can we do with these plots? Maybe something we rent it as a business premises for the tenants, the plot owners who are settling, because they are asking us already, can we do a salon, can we do a car wash? So we are already coming up with those. We are looking at members and the shareholders. The challenge that we have is about cash. And I'm sure when you are seated also, just like us, the challenge is cash. If you go for big businesses, we are going to borrow heavily and it will be straining at the end of the day. But we are starting with what is achievable immediately. And we also say, let's start with the small ones before we do a major one. And this is what we are doing. We are also trying to do what we call, not consultant services, but it's kind of the word is disappearing, to be able to manage your properties. If you want to develop and you're out of the country, we are able to give you consultants. We do the management part of it and the administrative part of it. And then we'll be able to assist people that, what is happening with people in the diaspora is also trust. You don't want to give money to somebody and you find they are building their own houses. So they can trust us if you are not able to do it yourself. This year we are proposing a dividend of 0.6 for those shareholders who are in our system. Our registrars register by that 1st December 2022, and we are proposing 0.6 per share. Let that come out to the financial reports. As I said before, our former GM, Esther Ogera, was with us for a number of years, I can't remember, 6 years. And by end of December last year, we mutually agreed to not renew the contract. But I'm happy to report that we are getting a new GM. The interviews are actually at the tail end, and the recruiting team will be able to come up with a name. But we did a very thorough search, and we are getting a GM very soon. This is acting at the moment, and you'll be seeing that in our communications. At this point, I'm very sorry to say that I'm seeing you, not that I'm going anywhere on your life, but I'm seeing you today as a chairman for the last time. I've done 10 years. I've not seen you my regrets and my best moments, but this is my last AGM as a chairman. I've done 10 years. What I can do to you is to thank you for voting me in consecutively, and you managed to give me a term, a full term. You didn't cut my term short. You voted for me overwhelmingly. I came up with the Uhuru Kenyatta, and I'm leaving with the Uhuru Kenyatta. I remember. Yeah, so then you give me that cruiser. I was what the vehicle that day. After this, you can pull me to my village or my destination. But I promise after I retire, and this book is we have become friends. And when I retire, I'm going to be seated in the board, not in the board, but in the gym. Laban will be seated next to you, and we are going to support this company. I can only say that as a shareholder, actually I've bought a number of shares. I will not say how many, because I trust the company. And if you don't trust you can't buy shares when you are a director, then you don't trust your own decisions, you don't trust your own company. And I'm going to partner your properties. Members, as I finish, I want to tell you something. Last year, when we were at Tulip Gardens, we were giving the highest customer a recognition and an award. I didn't get the award, but I was the best customer, or the biggest customer, because I could not give myself the award. So this award, can you bring it when I retire? Because I need it. So thank you, members, and thank you, shareholders. At this point, I want to invite to be able to give his reports. And before I sit down, Jonathan Mutange is the business development manager of the SACCO. Are you around? I thought you said at the back. Yeah, that's Jonathan. He's also here. I keep on recognizing you as I see you. So if I've missed you, I'll still recognize you when I see you. Thank you so much. But at least you can take the floor.
Thank you, Chairman, for this opportunity. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank the shareholders, the board of directors, all the invited guests for your attendance. Indeed, it's an honor for us to have you here, and I'm happy to recognize that we have a business which is ongoing. Mine is going to be very brief, but I'll touch on most on the performance of the company during the year 2022. As the chairman has said, the year 2022, there were some dynamics which came into play, whereby we were able to it was able to affect our business. One of them being the IFRS 15, whereby we had to adhere to it, and also the economic and political environment during that period. So allow me to move first and then go to the financial performance of the company during the year. I'll first start with the pre-tax profit. The company posted a pre-tax profit of 5.8 million for the financial year ended at 1st December 2022. So as compared to the previous year in 2021, where we had 10.6 million, it shows that we had a decrease of 50% in the reported profit. You might be asking yourself, how come there was an upward trajectory? The sales, as presented by the chairman, the sales were high, the gross profit was high, and how come we have now the profit decreased by 50%? The reason is simple, and is because we had IFRS 15 implementation, whereby you are not required to report income or revenue until you have sold the product fully. So I'm happy to say that out of that, we are doing correction, and that as per the financial statement, if you can check, we have over 17 million of deferred income. So assuming you are able to report this the way we used to report, you should have added 17 million to 5.8 million. So the deferred income, we highly expect to get that income during the financial year 2023. So we go to revenue that sales. From property, we are able to get an increase of 10%. So that's an equivalent of 15.1 million. So the total revenue for the year was 133 million. Then as compared to 2021, we had 118 million. So if you correct, you get the 10% increment. This is simply because we had a mix of products we were able to sell. And that is the year we were able to launch one of the most attractive projects, which is Triif, and also Kimoka Gardens. So, and also we are able to sell other projects which are still ongoing. The operating expenditure, we go to the operating expenditure, that is usually known as OpEx. We had an increment of 30%. So it increased, the amount increased from 29.456 million to 37.836 million. And this was mainly attributed to the increase in staff costs, particularly on sales staff, retainer, salaries, whereby we are able to acquire more positions during the year. We had, as the chair said, we had our staff is representing the investment at Kimisitu supply. We have invested there. And also we are able to get the accountant for the company. The position remained vacant from the previous years, and it was deemed better for us to fill that position. And also the commissions were the major factors, because if you tell me that once a customer pays pays at least a down payment or a deposit, I'm going to be able to pay you the full commission for that price. So just to expound it in a way, assuming a plot is 1 million, and we have agreed with the salesperson that once you bring in a customer base a deposit of 300,000, we'll be able to pay you commission. So the commission is not going to be paid on the deposit, it's going to be paid on the price of 1 million. So this means that whatever we have said is going to be deferred income, is not going to be, the commissions are not going to be factored in anymore. It is paid one-off. So that's why, and other costs, that's why the profit, all the expenses went up by 30%. The financial position, this, we look at the cash result as one of the main areas, whereby it went up 50% to 14.4 million in 2022. So this was due to the improved collection by the company, and also this is the year where we experienced an increase from customers paying cash for the products which they were purchasing. So that's one of the areas. Looking forward, we'll have to be guided by the International Financial Reporting Standards 2015. We'll also be guided by the company policies. We'll also be guided by the Strategic Plan 2023-2027. To expound on this, we will be looking at a diversified product propositions. We've been doing the major business which we are currently in, which we've been doing, has been land. Land has been the main revenue generator for the company. But for purposes of mitigating the risks associated with maybe having a small range of products, also with purposes of maximizing the profits of the company. When we sat down last year, the staff on the board, on the consultant, it was felt that it's high time for us now to move to another level. That another level is for us now, as much as we'll be doing land, we'll also consider other products. One of them is building flats or building houses for rent. Second one is we'll have now to also consider agency, whereby you bring in maybe your property, you are looking for a buyer, we can be able to sell on your behalf and also get commission. We'll also be looking at moving regionally, where we have counties whereby we feel like we need to move there because out of the surveys which we've been having and also the feedback which I've gotten from customers, we'll have now to consider going regions. We can consider going to Kisumu, we can consider going to Kakamega, we can consider going to Kiambu, where we have Montpellier, Nanyuki, and many areas, provided that this is guided by the feasibility of this particular feedback which we get. We also don't want to go where we are going to launch a project and we don't have customers. That's why we say feedback and survey is very key. So apart from this, we'll also consider coming up with a consortium of experts to build for our customers. This is a call which has been going on, and I'm happy to report that the process is underway for us to bring on board the consortium of experts who will be able to build for our customers. And what I've gotten from our members and shareholders, I found that they have more confidence for us to do them maybe housing units than going outside there to look for some independent service providers. So with those few remarks, allow me to conclude and say that I must appreciate the board of directors. I must appreciate the shareholders, Kimisitu Sacco members, Kimisitu Sacco as the corporate entity for the support which we had this year of 2022. And looking forward, I know the sky is the limit. So I have to leave you by saying a famous phrase by J.S. Meaty, which says that I am, because you are, and since you are, therefore I am. Let's put our arms together, let's put our ideas together, let's support each other, and let's be able to give you what you need so that we can move the company ahead. Thank you. Back to you, Chair.
What we need to mention now, not mention this, is that title processing has changed. And if you notice, they are not less in the processing of titles. And the indication we see are in the processing of titles. It is because once you buy a project, most members are paying by deposit. And you can only transfer the title to you when you pay 100%. But if you have 100% and you're only two of you, we normally take batches of 20 titles, and then remember the title deed is with our advocate or the lawyer until the transaction is complete. So the mother title is with our lawyer, not the vendor's lawyer, until we are able to pay the final installment. And most of the land is paid on what you pay us. We book, we pay with deposit, and then we continue paying as we pay. So anybody who has an issue of titles, I think it's not an issue now. But if you have an issue, it must be isolated and it can be sorted by the management. We can also talk today if you are here. I have a problem. But I can tell you the titles are separate. So at this point, I want to go to the last report because after this report is when I can now interact with the questions. And I will invite Andrew Bulemi, the buyer associates, auditors to come and give us their report. Thank you.
The chairman of the board of Kimisitu Company Limited, the board of directors, the chairman of Kimisitu Sacco, all members, guests, and all protocols observed. Good morning. Good morning. Good. My name is CPA Andrew Bulemi, partner at Buyer and Associates, and we have been your auditors for the year ended 31st December 2022. Before I go through our audit report, allow me to introduce my colleague who is with us today. So we have Brian Kamsali, who is CPA Brian Kamsali, who is our audit manager. Members and chairman, I will refer you to the annual report on page 13, where we have the independent auditor's report. I will not go through the financial statements. I believe the chairman has given it justice and the acting GM, but the financial statements that we are referring to are on page 17, progressing all the way to page 34. So I will take you through our auditor's report. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Kimisitu Investment Company, PLC, as set out on page 17 to 34, which comprise the statement of financial position as of 31st December 2022, statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity and cash flow statement for the year ended, and notes including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as of 31st December 2022 and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year ended in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and the Kenyan Companies Act. So, Chairman, we are giving a clean audit report and indicating that whatever has been presented is actually true and fair, giving a true and fair view of the position. Our basis of opinion is we conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standards of Auditing. Our responsibilities therein are described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report, where we will look at it later. We confirm as the auditors that we are independent of the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants Code of Ethics, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements. And we have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESPA code. We believe, so Chairman, we are just indicating that we are independent and not conflicted in any manner. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis of our audit opinion. As we were doing this audit, we considered some items to be key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, were significant in our audit of the financial statements of the current period. These matters were addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statements as a whole and informing our opinion there. And we are not providing separate opinion on these particular matters. So one of the key matters that was there was revenue from sale of land. And I must say that I appreciate that the board took into our consideration the advice we gave on compliance with IFRS 15. So the company derives its income from buying and selling of land. In the year under review, the company registered a net income of 43.6 million, an increase from 9% from the prior period of 2021. Of course, noting that this time round we have complied with the IFRS 15. Why did we consider this revenue from sale of land as a key audit matter? Number one, because it has a material balance. If not looked at, can cause problems. It was a major source of income for the company. That is 91% of the total income. And there is susceptibility of sale of land transactions to fraud statements. How our audit addressed this key audit matter is we obtained the sales schedules and support documents, and we ascertained accuracy and completeness of the same. We evaluated the internal controls. For example, we observed those proper segregation of duties in the land transactions. We also assessed recognition of these sales in accordance with IFRS 15 requirements, and we confirmed that as a company, you adopted this in the year under review. The other matter that we considered to be a key audit matter is assets held for sale. This comprises of all the parcels of land held by the company, which were not sold during the year. The closing stock as of the year end was Kenya shillings 104.4 million, as reflected in note number 8 of the financial statements, which represents 86% of your total assets. We considered this a key audit matter because these stocks are held in trust for the company's shareholders. They are sold off and thus they generate the revenue which we have just talked about, which is used to utilize and settle the company's obligation, and of course benefits the shareholders in the form of dividends. If these assets held for sale are misstated, the resultant statement of financial position would be misstated. Therefore, the reason why we consider it a key audit matter. How our audit addressed this particular key audit matter is we obtained stock schedules and tracked movement from opening balances to the sales and purchases. We reviewed the valuation of the stock as per your valuation policy and also confirmed that these stocks were properly valued in accordance with standards. We also performed an analytical review and obtained explanation for the changes. We noticed there was a slight decrease in stock of 26% compared to prior year, attributed to the acquisition of additional land for sale during the year. The other key audit matter is compliance with regulations and policies. We take note that the company is a public limited company incorporated under the Kenya Companies Act. The company has documented policies and manuals which are used as guideline for the daily operations of the company. We consider this a key audit matter as regulations, policies, and manuals act as a control measure in any institution. Adequate policies and manuals safeguard the organization from accidental or fraudulent mismanagement of resources. Again, how our audit addressed this is we reviewed the company's compliance with laws and regulations and confirmed adherence to the same. We also reviewed the other organization policies and ensured they were adequate and appropriately applied. Chairman, thereafter, I will not take you through the other one for one, but we are also required to report on other information. The other information, we are saying that the directors are responsible for other information. The other information comprises the director's report, audit committee's report, detailed income and expenditure items, and any other matter that is presented to you in this annual report. Our opinion does not cover the other information, and we only express our audit opinion on the financial statements that we have represented on. However, as part of our work, we are required to review the other information presented to you and confirm whether it is factual. So we have nothing to report in this regard to the other information, and we indicate that from our review, it is factually represented. The director's responsibility, of course, being that they are responsible for these financial statements and ensuring that the company continues to operate as a going concern. Our auditor's responsibility is to give an audit opinion and to conduct our audit in accordance to the standards therein. We, of course, have reported on other regulatory matters, and the engagement partner responsible for the audit resulting in this audit opinion is myself, CPA Andrew Bulemi, and I is of practicing certificate number 2071, and we signed off this audit report as Ryan Associates on the 31st March 2023. So, Chairman, that represents our auditor's report, and we are very grateful for the opportunity accorded to us to conduct this audit. I refer you to page 11 on the terms and appointment of the auditor, and we indicate that as Ryan Associates, we have expressed our willingness to continue in office in accordance with the company's article of association and section 719 of the Companies Act. Thank you very much, Chairman, and back to you.
Thank you so much. That was brief and precise. Luckily, you were with us last year, so you've been able to assist us with the IFRS 15. Members, I keep on believing that I need to be very open with you and tell you whatever is changing in the company, so that as shareholders and the owners of the company, you know everything. Recently, we have done an audit. I need to mention this because it's a term for also it aligns with what he has done. We noticed that even before we get the external auditor to come and review our reports, our operations, and procedures, we need to have also internal controls. So what we have done, we have got an auditor who was here when we were being introduced, and he's actually very new to be able to work 1 day a week. That means that before the external auditors come to do their work, we also ensure that our internal controls are correct. And this one, we made sure that the staff report to the board, because that is the only way the person can control the internal processes. So that when the auditors come, they find that things are clean, and we are also checking ourselves. So thank you so much. That's the information to pass, so that we are on the same page. Now, this is a moment where we need to interact with you. We have gotten the 3 presentations, the chairman presentation, the GM presentation, and the reports, on the financial reports. So, at this point, I'll ask time for questions. Time for questions, and I might will come to you, and we will share the questions with some of us here, based on the area of expertise. But ask your question, feel free. If you feel you are not satisfied with the responses, you need to come back and confirm that you need a clarification. And in the case a question is asked by one person, I would recommend that we don't ask the same question to give other people a chance to ask their questions, because at some point you cannot answer all the questions. There are so many, but you want not to lock someone out. So feel free. I can see 2 colleagues are there. So members, and Karibu Sana, ask your questions. We'll answer them to our capability. If we're not able to answer you, we'll tell you that we will research. But I hope we are able to answer the questions. So, Karibu Sana, ask your questions. And some my colleagues take notes of the questions so that you're able to answer the question. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gosho. I just wanted to find out. I've noticed that our retained earnings have reduced by about 2 million. I was just wondering why.
My name is Gregory, and I think I have a number of questions. Thank you to the auditor for the report. I have a number of questions and statements on this report. So I would like just to correct the retained earnings on page 18. They have actually dropped by 3 million, not 2 million. So And I don't know why on page 18 the figure has not been shown. So, but it was shown in when it was shared to us. So that's number one. Number two, if you look at the assets of the company, they have reduced by 23%. And that's not a good indication for a company that we are looking to grow it, because what that means is in 4 years' time, we'll have a situation where we'll have no company. If we keep on losing our assets by 23% every year. Another comment related to that, on the financial statements. On the financial statements, you have indicated the projection in terms of revenue for the last 5 years. We'd also love to see how the assets have grown for the last 5 years. Because one of the key things, and I would like to tell the members on the floor, is that there's a lot of creative accounting in this book of accounts. I don't know the work the auditor was doing, but there's a lot of creative accounting. And the purpose of this meeting, I would believe, is to adopt this book of accounts. The way the book of accounts are, and I'll come to where I'm saying that there's a lot of creative accounting in this book of accounts. So apart from the asset reducing by 30 million, and the chairman has not given any statement to that regards, our retained earning, instead of growing, they have reduced by 3 million. Again, the chairman has not given any statement with regards to that. Yes, you have kept on talking about IFRS. We know accounting can be difficult, but there are simple things. If you're telling us about IFRS, give us a budget for next year. If the revenue reduced because of IFRS, give us a budget for 2023. Let's see where the company is going. Right now, all the members, nobody has visibility of where the company is going. There's no budget in this financial report for next year, unless I've not seen it. So I think that's something that chairman and the board needs to address. Then the other thing is on page 20, sorry, just a minute. On page 24 and 25. So that's where all the cooking has been done. Yeah? So and I know there's IFRS and there's all those complicated accounting standards, but basic accounting concept, you can't sell things out of thin air. You must have stock at the beginning of the year. You sell that stock and you have closing stock. I just highlight members to one. So the creative accounting has been done on three particular items. So that's Tulivu Gardens, Harmony Gardens, and Kimuka Gardens. So if we start with Tulivu Gardens, you can see we have a closing stock of 31 million, and we have sales of 49 million. So that's 81 million which has been introduced to the book of accounts. And if you look at the report, there are no purchases for Tulivu Garden. So that's an asset that came out of thin air. And I'll tell members why that has been done. So we have 81 million which has been introduced in the book of accounts. If you look in page 25, Tulivu Gardens doesn't have any opening stock. So you wonder, where did we get all this stock to sell it? There must be an opening stock somewhere, and there must be a purchases somewhere, irrespective of the kind of accounting that the auditor and the board have adopted. The other thing is, that's Tulivu Gardens. There are also a lot of anomalies in these other accounts, but they are minimal. But if you look at Harmony and Kimuka, I would invite members to just do a simple accounting on that. Just take the opening stock, add the purchases which were done during the year, close the closing stock. You get that those two for Kimuka and Harmony, there's a loss of 54 million. So please, the sale of those two assets, and as you have clearly indicated, those are the critical. That's the only business we are doing here. As you have clearly indicated, that was your key area where you are doing audit. Those two assets alone will have made a loss of 54 million. So please advise where we got this 39 million from in terms of profit. So from all this, what I would like to tell the members is that we have a whole. There's no, that 39 million profit that has been put there is fictitious. Tulivu Garden has no purchases. Tulivu Garden has no opening stock, but it has closing stock. So we have introduced fictitious assets on our balance sheet, and it has a sales. We have introduced fictitious sales on our income statement. So, kindly auditor, tell us, just please explain on that and let us know. What I would like to tell members is what 40 million means to each of the 2,000 members is each and every member here has lost 20,000 shillings. Yeah? So the 60 cents per share that you're giving us, I think that's a big joke, given that each and every member has lost 20,000 shillings. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregory. Those questions are even for 5 people. We have asked on behalf of most of the people. Any more questions? Or do you want us to handle this first? Before we get more questions, I want first to ask the auditor to start responding, and then we'll be able to go to the. We start with Gregory, then we go to. Is it Kiara? The first question. Yeah, about the training earnings.
Thank you, Chairman. I think let me start with the question on retained earnings. I'll refer you to page 18. So as you indicate, the retained earnings have moved from 4.8 million to 2.2 million, rightfully so. So on the next page is page 19, which would show you the movement of the retained earnings. So I'll start with the lower section as at 1st of January 2021, just to show you the movement, and then go up to where the differences come up. So you will realize from that movement that when you started the year, your retained earnings for the previous year was 4.2 million. Then there were proposed dividends, the proposed director's fee, prior year adjustments, and profit for the year 2021 of 7.3 million, giving you retained earnings of 4.875 million. That is reflective in the year 2021. Now, when we go up, as at 1st January 2022, the same balance is brought up, and you will note that what has significantly brought this figure is the 2021 dividends paid in the year 2022 of 5.9 million, and the profit for the year, which has increased it, the 3.7, as reflected in your income statement. So that shows the balance of 2.2. Now, why has it gone down? Of course, it has gone down because the dividends have been paid out, a significant proportion out of your retained earnings. Remember, dividends are removed from there. And your profit for the year, if you compare it to the profit for the previous year, it is not as significant as the previous year. So I hope that explains the question there. Maybe the key things to look out for going forward is that the income will regularize once the adoption of the IFRS 15 comes into play, and therefore the income will now be significant in subsequent periods, or maybe come back to a normalcy level. So I hope that explains that. I'll go into explaining a little bit on the questions asked. Of course, I will also allow the acting GM or the acting manager to explain more on the issue of net income on page 24, as referred by, I think, Gregory, in very strong words. The Tulivu Gardens, as reflected there, initially in the year 2022, you can see from page 25 that it has a closing stock of 31 million. Out of the purchases being reflected, Harmony Gardens, Tumuka Gardens, there is also Tulivu Gardens there, which the GM will explain. So out of the 55 million, there is also purchases for Tulivu Gardens reflected there. When you look at that, and I want to mention this, the valuation of closing stock would of course not be the same as what is reflected as sales. So I don't expect when you see a closing stock figure, you also expect that when it is sold, it will be sold at the same value that is indicated there. Sometimes there are increments from that would cause certain differences. So I just wanted to mention that and possibly allow the GM to also explain in detail on the issue of the movements of the stock. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. For me, I'll talk on the purchases for the year. And what you need to realize that when we do purchases are factored in at costs. So you pay the vendor and also you consider the incidental costs. So if you look at the cost of sales, for Tulivu Gardens, this is of 55,557,000. Then when we are to get the cost of sales, you get the opening stock, you had purchases during the year, and then you less the closing stock for you to get the amount of the value of the cost of sales. Now for 2022, if you have to look at it, this is 93,492,117. So on another note, maybe to answer Gregory, for him is a note that we need to look at also project the financial position, not only on the revenue items, also we have to consider the financial position aspect. So that's well noted. We'll be able to project. For him, he feels like I think it's good also to give a longer period than what has been factored in here in this financial reports for 2 years. And more especially that will have to come either under the chairman's report or the GM's report. So that point is noted and we'll be able to get this done maybe in the coming financial periods. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Wadambuleni. The questions are very good. I can tell Gregory, you are a CPA, and I had to get the CPA to respond to you first because me, I will talk as an engineer, but I will talk based on understanding because this is a discussion in the board. And I want to start by saying this: we are so open, and I'm saying this when I know tomorrow I'll not be in the board, but the board and the management are agreeable to me that if you want to come to the office, but I'm not to say that I'm blocking from it. We are responding, but I want to say, if you want to see these files, they are kept. Is it for 7 years before they are transferred? These files are there. You'll be able to see all the agreements for to live this, to live 1 and to live 2. To live 2 is this year, that's why it's not here. You'll be able to see to live 1, where the agreement is there, the sales and everything is there. What Chris has explained and the auditor is that we buy at cost, then we factor. We pay from the vendors at a price. Then we will factor the lawyer's fee, the surveyor's fee, the transfer fees, and also the profit that we are going to make. So I'm sure the stocks will be confusing because when I saw the purchases, they are combined Harmony Gardens, Kimuka, and Tulivu, and then the total is combined. But the opening balance is keeps on changing because some of the land was sold, then some close to the other year, like Harmony was older than Tulivu. Now, let me respond to the question of the budgets for next year. I can be corrected by our sub-colleagues, but the investment company does not present budgets to the AGM. And we have never done it. The budgets are, you have given us the company to work with. We are given as a company to do business on your behalf. So we don't present budget to the AGM. So the difference is that SACCO and the investment operations are different based on the Companies Act. So I can be audited by the Company Secretary, but we have not done it in my experience, and it is normally done and approved by the board, because what we say, the board has been mandated to do business on your behalf. And these budgets keep on changing because you don't know what property you are buying next month. It depends on the flow of what we are selling and at what point we are going to be demanding for more. Yes, so let me respond to the assets, reduction of asset base. What I understand and what we have in our records, where I could not present it, but it was presented indirectly by Chris, we have had stocks as assets held for sale. They are not stocks like assets we are disposing, like they were meant to be retained by the company, but they were stocks that were held for sale. So when you see this, it means that the salespeople have upped their game, they have sold more, and by the asset base reducing is a benefit because you got 13 million more from this collection of debts, and the selling of what was held for sale. So I want that to be confirmed, that is correct, but that is what is my understanding and the board understanding, that the assets that have reduced are assets that were meant for sale, but not assets that were meant for retaining. So maybe Company Secretary, you have something to add?
I think for me, I just need to confirm that budget is an internal tool of management, and directors being your agents, if they consider it, that is sufficient. And there is no statutory requirement in the Companies Act for the budget to be presented at the annual general meeting. Otherwise, it would be tenuous. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I always like to be very transparent there. Can I start with the first question? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with the response?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Greg, you want to speak? I can see on the remote. The mic.
Thank you, Chair, for the feedback. I think it's good when you're doing a report to come out very clearly. We are talking about delivery, purchases for delivery, and it's clearly indicated on the report. These are purchases for Harmony and Kimuka Gardens. There's no delivery here. So when you stand up and say this is purchases for delivery, can you substantiate that? So is this purchases for Harmony? Is this purchases for Kimuka? Is this purchases for delivery? And if it's purchases for delivery, what's so hard in breaking it down? I've already indicated this is not a simple matter. There's a gap of 40 million shillings. There's a gap of 40 million shillings. So we just give you this simple accounting of opening stock plus purchases minus closing. So, and if you look at those three accounts, Tulivu, Harmony, and Kibuka, if you look at if you decide to combine them, forget about those other ones. If you decide to combine them, you see, if you are combine everything. Don't itemize the sales, then go and bunch. That's what we call creative accounting. Yeah? So, and if you are to go that way, and combine the assets of the opening stock of Tulivu, Harmony, and Kimoka, because that's where most of these things have been needed. If you are to go that way and do the combination, you will see there's no profit there.
Thank you, Gregor. What I can say here is that if you look at under the cost of sales, we have purchases, that's page 24. So what I can say is it seems there was an omission to indicate to leave guidance. I think that's what is coming out, and we shall be able to rectify that. But for indeed, we did purchase to leave guidance, and also for the year 2022. For Harmony Gardens and Kimuka Gardens was for 2021. Thank you.
Another question? Actually, I like these questions because I normally say they challenge us. If there's a mistake, we all have to do a mistake. But again, seriously speaking, if you want to see the reports, I can ask you to visit. It may be tedious, but I'm sure even at the circle we have a few people there. We can be able to show this. Because the board has this information. Yeah, I can see this.
Yes, my name is Peter. I'm a both of my accountant, not yesterday. But I think in future, I think why don't we post the accounts, the shareholders, and some of us are very different about it. And then to avoid the congestion of asking too many questions, like AGM, we can't finish the whole process today. And as the chairman says, the office is open. It's a good idea. I plus other shareholders are free to go to the office. But I would recommend sending the accounts earlier, the shareholders, so that we are not in a tight contest on how this accounts are done.
Anybody else want to ask a question? Nobody's there. Give Laban the mic.
Maybe it's not a question, it's expecting this to thank Gregory, because when we have a meeting like this and we see the passion in the shareholders, Chairman of Kimisitu, will excuse me for this, because this was now our shareholders, so they are talking about their own company. When you see the passion like this, I feel happy. Why am I feeling happy? Because now we get to know the areas in which things need to be corrected. Yes, it is good for him to point out that, so that we do not bunch up information. When we bunch up information, of course, I've served in the board before. The board is always very transparent and open. But of course, every other time, there is a need for correction, of course. Now, when we disaggregate the information, then it becomes very open that there is nothing to hide. Because oftentimes when we bunch up information, it looks like there is something we are hiding, but in truth, there isn't. Selling land is not one of the easiest things. You can actually purchase land, and I know, for example, when I was still in the board, there's some land we bought way out in Katani. It is not completely sold out, but when it shows up in reports, you might actually start wondering, why is it that this one is still showing up now? Because some of the business that we do is very difficult, and if you also saw that a majority of our profit actually, as even pointed out by the auditors, is 86% from lands. That's why the new strategy they are thinking of really reducing that, because it ties up a lot of capital, and sometimes people can actually think that we are not doing any good work. What's more, maybe also in our next report, sometimes, usually in the circle meetings, usually the question comes up about staff costs. It is very nice in this report we are seeing the directors listed. Also in the next one, maybe you might not necessarily list the staff, but just indicate the numbers, so that when we are discussing staff costs next time, it doesn't look like a bunched up issue, so that it can also bring some very necessary but questions that might actually make things look like they are not working properly. It's just a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me start with Peter. Thank you, Peter. And with Peter, I always appreciate and I salute you. When I came to the board, you have never missed a single AGM. Even before I became a board member, I used to see you in the AGM. Thank you so much. Let me confirm that the reports were sent at the first week of April. I don't know the date, but I'm told the reports were sent first week of April. So, I don't know the date that they were sent, but they were sent, the reports, the financial reports. Please check if they were sent and confirm. Has anybody received the reports before today? You received? All of you, only 2 people have received. We want to correct ourselves. It is a problem that we find is you find is a common problem, we know what to do about it. So how many have received? Yes. So a number of you have received them. So maybe let's check how it was sent and the way you never received it. And I want to say that always say that if nobody is perfect, I'm told that the report went out through to the website, company website, but a text was sent to all the shareholders. A text was sent for you to go and check the reports on the website. So that's what we did. Maybe we need to confirm this so that next time we are able to. Actually, it's something we do before the AGM. So maybe anytime we have an AGM, we can be reading the reports at least 3 weeks before the AGM, before they were shared. And I've said that nobody is perfect, including myself standing here. And when I hear that there's an error, I always say that I take the responsibility and I say that it's going to be corrected. So what I want to say on the issue that was made by Gregory, I want to say let us go and share the breakdown on the we share on website. So maybe on our auditor and the Chris, let's go and break it down because we cannot invite all of us to our office and you have also your own responsibilities to come. So to avoid hiding anything is going to be shared. Then you can be able to see it because I'm sure it is there, but it has been confirmed only that it was not shared in this report. So there will be a correction and sent to you. Okay? Not to look for it this week. You are not looking for it, it is there. Laban, thank you so much for your comment and your support. We understand the challenges you mentioned, and the selling land can be a challenge because you buy land and things change. We bought land in Ostrich before I was a board member. Actually, I bought when I was almost about to attend the AGM. And the road that was leading to Ostrich Farm changed. And that was not seen by anybody. The road was straight to Ostrich. Now it was changed. The road goes, it becomes longer than it was before. So things change. But at the end of the day, it's a challenge to sell land. And I agree with you, Laban. And about staff cost, I want to add that we have increased the coverage of insurance to the staff, medical insurance, cover all staff. That is indiscriminatory. Well, whatever level you are covered with your family. There's a number that is stated. So we increase the insurance cover, and the staff who are here, they are just saying yes. And I'm sure they are happy about it because it covered people. Some staff got sick, and you notice that not just about the staff, also the families. And whatever level you are, whatever level of position you are, you also get sick. So that is one of the reasons that also the cost went up. And any more questions?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I want to draw your attention to page number 33 on fines and penalties. Okay, I see it's a huge figure. So maybe as you break down the other sides, kindly also we like to know what composes these fines and penalties.
Thank you so much. Any other question? Want to respond to a bunch of questions? And that's the last question.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Kimisitu. I want to draw you to page 25 and looking at number 3, which looks at administrative and operating expenses. There are quite a number of items that have been outlined, but this one that just office expenses, what does it entail?
Hello, my name is Bessie. My question is more around technology. There's been little mention of it in the chairman's report, but we know right now technology is the backbone that is moving a lot of these things forward, and with a lot of cybercrime and issues around data protection, it would be good to understand how, first and foremost, you're securing our data, because an example is that I tried to register online. My devices refused to enter that page because it was a security risk. They said that the pages were security risks. So that is a point of worry for me. If devices or people accessing our pages are being alerted that our pages are not safe, a safe space, then it could go a bit deeper than that, because that's just a website. And the alternate of actually collecting such kind of data on hard copies also is a big data risk. So my concern is around how you're protecting our data, because in the current situation, data is also.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Samuel Ileni. Mine is a little bit on page 26. 25 and 26. Administrative and accounting expenses. We have traveling and property site expenses. And we will go to page 26, we still have traveling expenses. Why do we have these two, which are also more than the same?
Page 26, we don't talk about the one on 26.
Administrative operating expenses. Traveling and property expenses 908,641. Page 26. And we go a look at there is support and maintenance below, there is traveling expenses. Are they confirmed the same thing or they are different?
So the last questions, really different questions. Okay, let me leave Mr. Rand with a question on data protection. Then the question by, is it someone? Yes, someone. Data protection will be handled by Chris. I'll talk about, if I got you right, you talked about traveling and property search expenses. And then on page 25, page 26, you are talking about the vehicle running expenses. Running expenses. Okay, actually, I want to give Chris to respond to the both. I know the first one, and give Chris to respond to the both questions, because I know the one for property search, we have people traveling to search. If you go to Kisumu, you know the out of travel to Kisumu, there will be a cost. There will be there will be allowances to go to Kisumu. If you are locally, there will be mileage depending on where you use your car. So the property search, they are board members. Normally, what you have done for property search, the management goes first to search for the land, and once they give us options that we need to choose from, the Business Development Committee, which is chaired by Moses, will come and sort the projects on paper before they go to site. Then they will agree that they take a whole day, they go and see each property and now zero into the first one, to the best of the affordable one, based on the location and other factors. And those costs are these board allowances on these meetings, there's also mileage allowances. Then, before Chris responds, there's also the costs that are associated with the vehicles. That's why Chris come and I'm very sure that he can respond to this, because these are vehicle running costs and the office, because there's also the sending of checks which are run by directors. There's also even going to even see the project in Kitengela, even take customers to site. So let's respond to both the question and clarify on page 20 whether that answer I gave is the correct one. And so that would be the question.
Okay, thank you, Chair. On vehicle running expenses, the company has purchased a company fund, which of course we use for our business. And for these vehicle running expenses, these are maintenance and repairs of the company fund. That's the fuel which has been captured there, 154,512 for the financial year 2022. Traveling expenses, these are those expenses which are incurred by the office to run around errands. Sometimes it's felt that going out with the company to do errands might be costly. That's why we usually use this, we consider getting our staff to run around with deliveries and postages. So that's what we have. We have on technology, allow me to say that we are very keen on the risks which are associated with the technology, and the company is very keen on this. And what we have done is that our website is secured by SSL. I don't know what could have happened during that time. We need to find out. And also, you need to know that also we have antiviruses which have been installed in our machines so that we can prevent an attack which can come into the company. Also note that we are very keen on data protection. What we have done is that we are so far in the process of being fully compliant with the ODBC. ODBC means the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, whereby we have acquired our license, and now the bit of compliance is ongoing. We are very keen that this can be done by media so that we are fully compliant. So I'm happy to inform you that your data, which you've given us, is well taken care of, and we'll be able to be compliant moving ahead. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the questions. I know it's almost lunchtime. Questions are going to be less, but it was not by design. It was by the program. So thank you so much. And any question that you have, can still respond. And those ways that you have responded will be posted again for those members who are not here with us, because we are not online. So they can also, there will be the report. The question will be responded for everybody to see. I want to invite the company secretary to be able to take us through.
Thank you, Chair. There's one question which you have not answered, and is on fines and penalties. So the fines and penalties are related to the installment tax from the financial year 2016 to 2021, which was applied on the company. And I'm happy to report that this has been sorted out, and moving forward, we are putting the controls in place so that we can be always compliant with that, with the payment of taxes, and also with the rules and regulations regarding the payment of tax and the payment of tax. Thank you.
So thank you, Chris. So I wanted to invite the company secretary to take us through the director's elections, which is the next session. So welcome, Mr. Limani.
Thank you, Chairman. The articles of association of the company require that a third of the members of the board retire at every annual general meeting. At this annual general meeting, I have indicated that the chairman, who has served for a continuous period of 10 years as a director, shall be retiring and not offering himself for re-election. I also indicated that Ms. Gladys Kalini retires by rotation under the Articles of Association, and she is eligible for re-election, and she offered herself for re-election. Therefore, there were 2 vacancies to be filled at this annual general meeting. What I need to do is to let you know who are the candidates in respect of those 2 positions. I have already indicated that Ms. Gladys Kalini offers herself for re-election. Therefore, she's one of the candidates. Then we have the company sent out the invitations for applications. The applications were received and evaluated in accordance with the criteria that the Board of Directors had established. In accordance with that criteria, one applicant was successful, that is Ms. Yusta Mwangi. I think I should read out her credentials so that you may know who she is. As you already know, Gladys, Justa Mwangi is a public relations expert with over 30 years experience globally in senior management and in the corporate sector. She has also worked in the non-profit and public sectors. Specifically, she has worked with Del Monte. She has also worked with SAB Miller PLC, where she was a public relations manager. She also worked with Welcome Trust. She was also where she held the position of head of external relations, and recently she served as a member of the county executive board of the county government of Embu, where she served in the dockets of public service and administration, devolution, ICT, legal, communications, disaster and risk management, gender and youth empowerment, sports, culture, and children and social services. Therefore, there are 2 vacancies and we have 2 candidates. Essentially what that means, there will be no point of electing 2 people to fill, 2 contestants to fill 2 positions. Therefore, I propose to you that you propose and second these 2 as individuals to fill those 2 vacancies in the board. So if I may get a proposal.
Before I propose on a secretary, it would be nice to hear. We have not had an agent for the last 3 years. Gladys came in when some of us were already out. It was during that time. We've never heard about them. So it would be nice if they actually just show a presentation themselves, say what they intend to do now that there's a new strategy. Now that there is not that version where there are a number of contestants. Then now we can decide to endorse them or not.
Agreed, Mr. Sudi. I think I can do that right away. Gladys, may you introduce yourself?
My name is Gladys Kalini. I work for Concern Worldwide. The HR advisor in the Horn of Africa. I've been in the board as the vice chair for the last 2 years. During this period, like during the presentation, we looked at the running of the company, the policies and the procedures, ensuring that we are compliant. And at one point, we called in a consultant to come and look at our policies, our structure, working closely with them. Being in the board, for me, is an addition because in the company, we don't have an HR professional. So I come in to support in the areas of human resource, the functions of HR, advising the management on good practices and compliance. Going forward, having looked at the strategy, which I was also part of it, is bringing in the HR agenda to ensure that we are running the company in the right direction. I would want to say that during this period, like we are talking about staff expenses, as an HR professional, I saw a gap in the company where we had just 3 people covered medically and having 11 staff, which was not fair for everyone. So it was a discussion on how do we ensure that we feel our staff are catered for. And we had a lot of turnover, especially with the sales executives, because basically we are seeing there is a discrimination here. Why are we not being recognized? So with that, we looked at whether we can manage as a company. And the first thing that we did was to take in the principals first without their beneficiaries to see how it goes and whether we could also be able to manage to pay for them. And then going forward, we also realize their families are part of them. And starting from last year, we added the families. So being there in the board, it's ensuring that we don't run into legal cases. We don't have to go seeking legal opinion and pay for it if I could give it. And not only me, with the professionals in the board, ensuring that we protect our resources. Why would you go to be done a letter for a particular staff because of non-performance or seeking guidance of non-performance when you have a professional on board? So going forward, I still want to protect the interest of the company and support where I'm called into without charging anything and being part of the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, members and everyone. I'm excited because this is a very pivotal moment for Kimisitu investment. As you have seen from the presentation we have received at this AGM, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of sales and in terms of diversifying our resource base. In other words, our income stream. We need to bring in the money. And this is where I come in with my global expertise in strategic leadership and public relations, and with a very strong marketing career where I work with the multinational companies. I'll be able to work with the team to actually ensure that we can deliver value for members. In other words, I want all those products that have not been sold. I want to enter into strategic partnerships with government. We have targets about manufacturing, and we have targets on housing. And I feel Kimisitu Investment should be one of the companies that should strategically partner with the government to be able to actually get some of these buildings put up, and through financing and through facilitation. Government is giving free land. Do you know that right now as we speak, I was working with the county government of Embu where I was a cabinet member. And do you know that counties are giving free land for investors? Imagine private people are getting free land as long as you promise to do units, 3-bedroom units, and you have your niche market and you partner with them. So we need to actually seize these opportunities so that we are actually not left behind, and we actually want to strategically be there. So I won't talk much about my experience, and probably, the person who was announcing said a lot about that. So mine is just a summary of what I can bring to Kimisitu Investment as a member of the board, and I seek your indulgence to be a member there to serve you. I'm a person living with disability and happy to be a part of that team. Thank you.
Thank you, Justa. Without further ado, let us have a proposal and a second for that motion.
My name is Peter Muyeko. I propose. Thank you.
My name is Virginia Wanzete. I second.
Members, Mr. Peter Muyeko and Ms. Virginia
Wanzete.
Yeah, Virginia Wanzete. Mr. Peter Muyeko has proposed, and Ms. Virginia Wanzete has seconded, and therefore a motion has been passed that Ms. Gladys Kalini and Ms. Justa Magi are hereby elected and appointed as directors of the company. Thank you, Chairman.
So the shareholders, when you get a driving license, you need to get a L on your car to be able to show people that you are a learner. So I'm also a learner. Very experienced in fiscal meetings. So I forgot a very critical step that I wanted us to very quickly go through. There was a report by the chairman there's a report by the GM, there's a report by the auditor. So I want to start with the proposal for these reports and the second I should have done that before the elections. So if I start with the first one, the chairman's report, I'm requesting for someone to propose and someone to second.
Drusilla Nyaboke, I propose.
Thank you, Nyaboke. Thank you for proposing. Yes.
Daniel Kioko, I second.
Thank you, Daniel Kioko, for seconding. So now the GM report. Someone to propose?
My name is Paul Ngelimoni. I propose.
Thank you, Paul.
Bernard Gulai, I second.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you so much.
Be able to elect an auditor, and maybe then before I continue, is MD Light and Associates here? Are they represented? They are here, they are represented. And so we will just give them a chance, the two of them. They're just going to introduce themselves to the members, and then Maya again had already requested that also they be given a chance. So those are the only two auditors that we have that we were able to get their requests, and they were also able to meet the requirements that were there. So I'll give them a chance. They will introduce their company just shortly, and because they are two, I think they'll step out so that we can get our auditor for this year continuing forward. Thank you so much. I don't know who's going to start, and nobody has to. So, Maya, that you're on there, you can start, and then after that, then we can have a MD line. Thank you so much.
Members, good afternoon. My name is Supriya of Maya Associates. We have been your auditors for the last 2 years, and I just want to introduce our firm. Maya Associates was founded in the year 1979, and showing that Maya Associates was founded in the year 1979, and we are domiciled in Westlands, Nairobi, with branches in Eldoret and Kisumu. We are a 3-partner firm, myself being one of the partners, and we have about 40 professional staff members spread across our Eldoret branch. We are registered with the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and all our partners are in good standing. We belong to GMN International, which is an association of legal independent accounting firms, where we have handled work in the region, East Africa region, and all over. We have experience working with NGOs, public sector organizations, international organizations, and the corporate sector. We believe that we have the expertise to continue offering you our services, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. Our core areas of service is usually taxation, auditing, accounting, payroll services, and systems review. And we are very honored to have worked with you for the last 2 years. We look forward to continuing with this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe there's a question we'll be asking you later, but I'll let you come. Yeah, so that we can also be able to present themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sibiedo Kasuri. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon. When I met Andrew, is my friend, so we served together in many organizations, in audit committees, and also at ISPA. And he was asking why I'm here, so I told him I'm the incoming auditor, so he was a bit, he said I am the auditor. So I will take you through our firm, and before I do that, I can talk about myself a little. And I like the way you conducted the elections for the directors. I'm a director at the Association of Women Accountants of Kenya, and we have elections coming up. So everyone has to show, what are you offering? What have you done if you're there? I wish I was a director here, it would have been very easy. So I will talk about our firm. So our firm is MD Light and Associates. We were formerly Moody Daniel and Associates, and we changed our name this year because of growth, and also to be able to deal with the wider client base. So our firm was founded in 2013, and our experience starts across the private sector, the public sector, and also the not-for-profit organizations. I will take you through our vision. Our vision is to provide exceptional audit and assurance, tax advisory and consultancy services to the public. And our mission is to deliver high-quality services both in appearance and content, and to empower our client culture of growth, profitability, and to ensure we work with enthusiasm throughout the firm. We are a firm of 3 partners. There is myself, a senior partner, then we have Daniel. Daniel is here, the other partner. Then we have Zach, who does our quality assurance. He is also here. So our staffing, we have the board of partners, the 3 of us. Then we have a quality review partner. We have an office administrator. We have a team leader for audit and advisory. We have a team leader for development consulting practice. Then we have a team leader for tax. Then we have audit supervisors, and we have audit associates, and we also have a pool of other professionals and experts who we call on a need basis depending on the nature of clientele that we are handling. I've also given a summary of the clients that we have served. I don't know whether someone wants to project the list of the clients that we've served. We have 15 full-time staff, and that is just a summary of our experience and what we have done. You can go to the last page where we have, I don't know whether the summary of the clients is available, but I can read through the clients that we are servicing. The last one, the first one is Karen Hills and Signature Homes. Then we have 88 Nairobi Condominium. We have the Lordship Africa. The 3 of them are in the housing sector. Then we have Zinele. It's a funds management company. We have Urgent Action Fund. It's a not-for-profit organization. We have Go Down. We have Capsule Hospital. We have the Brook of Kerith. We have Kingsland Court. We have Kalori Estates Limited, among others. Those are some of our clients that we are servicing currently. So we are here to seek an opportunity to be your auditors for 2023. Thank you.
That is very clear to members. We have the comments of the CPAs, so we'd like the CPAs to kindly maybe move out so that we can now continue the next stage. We have realized that as now an FCPA, it's a very coveted, kind of a profession. I was told that is equivalent to PhD. I don't know whether I'm right. Otherwise, it's going to be. Thank you so much. We'll allow them to go out, and then we are able to get our auditor out of that. Yeah, members, I don't think we have a complicated way we want to do this. We just want to show by a sign of hands how many are for buyer and how many are for MD light. That is just the way we want to go. Is that, yeah? They're still here. You want a point of order? Okay, a point of order.
Thank you. But I think on a decision memo is not wrong. I think we agreed that auditors can serve 3-year term, then quit. So I don't see why we're having elections when we had I don't know what has been endorsed by the board, but what I remember is that auditors are believing 3-year term. If nothing wrong with if nothing wrong with the audit. So I don't see why we're in the section of 3 years.
Yeah, thank you so much for that point of order. And I think on behalf of the committee, I'll be able to answer that. Yeah, that is what is recommended. And I think that is the rule that is there. Yeah, but then our charter says that they will be presented to the AGM. And so that is why we are presenting them to the AGM, so that the members again can give them that mandate to continue. So every year we bring auditors to you so that you are able to give them the mandate to continue. But ideally, that is what is there. Like the two are here, and also you can make your own choices. Is that okay? That is, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I don't know if we voting by hand, how it will be. Who's going to have to come there? I hope that some few directors can help in counting. You've made your decision, so let's not let the lifting of a hand sway you with the decision that you've made. Let's see, how many are for MD Light? A show of hands. Can somebody count that for me? MD Light, MD Light, yes. MD Light. MD No, this one, MD Light and Associates. The last one who presented. The last one who presented. Yes, MD Light and Associates. Okay, thank you. You get your number, those are 68. Now we go to the next one, MD project. The next one is our current auditor, Buyer and Associates. With a show of hands, how many are voting for Buyer and Associates? Yeah, every vote counts. As long as you don't do it twice, every vote counts. How many are those? 15. Okay. Thank you so much. Hawa wameketi mbele ndio wameleta, walifanya choices zao wakaleta kwenu, sasa hivi tuchakwe. Kwa hivyo ndio IBC. Asanteni sana. And so we have our auditor. I can project again the name there so that we all see. According to you members, and I think that is fast, MD Lights and Associates becomes the new auditor, external auditor for the city. Thank you so much, and back to the Thank you so much, Patrick, and I think they will be informed officially. That's how we do it for auditors. We don't call them to the floor like the directors. So at this point in time, I want to appreciate you because there is no other business that has been brought about or forwarded by the members or the shareholders. We discussed today. So at this point, I want to thank you for attending this AGM today. And for the patience, you have been here from 9 and the starting of 10:30, and you are still seated. I can't take that for granted. We are coming to the end of the 12th annual general meeting at this point. And I want just to wave at me, telling me quietly, thank you so much for being very good customers, very good shareholders. I'll miss you all. And because I'm not employed by Kimisitu, I'm the owner of the company. I'm going to be very comfortably seated here next year as the owner of the company and celebrating the achievement of the very good board and a very good participation for you. Asante sana. I want to make some few announcements before we do a prayer to close the meeting. The announcements are because you have come and you took your time, you spent to come to this place, you get a token of appreciation of the 1,000 shillings. So that will be sorted
through the finance. So you get an end person that will get that coming. If you have registered at the gate at the entry, you get that. Secondly, you parked your cars and there are some tickets that you can with. So those tickets will be validated. There's a security person will be out here, so that when you get, you don't pay parking fees. We don't give you another fees and then you pay all of the parking. We want you to go as you can. So make sure that you have, if it's in your camper and pick it, come back with it, then it will be validated. So you don't pay for parking. You don't pay for parking. And I believe now, nothing banning from the front, anything banning, I have forgotten. With your permission, I want to invite our pastor in the board, Mr. Patrick Alobe, to give us a very powerful prayer, and the meeting will be closed, and go and hear again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank God my bishop is not here, otherwise I'll be excommunicated immediately, being called a pastor. Yeah, let's start and let's just finish up in the name of Jesus. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you, we want to bless you, we want to glorify your holy name. You are great, and there is no one that is like you. You are mighty, O God. Father, your splendor is great. And Lord, your love is just so great, Lord, in that, Lord, when we were yet sinners, when we were yet in our sins, O God, you loved us so much, and you sent your only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to come and die for us. That whosoever shall believe in, O King of praise, Lord, shall be saved. And we just want to thank you and to bless you, Lord, for Kimisitu, the way you brought us this far, O King of praise. We want to thank you for the progress. We want to thank you for where we have reached. We want to thank you for the members where they have reached, O King of praise. There are many, Lord, that can bear testimony, Lord, that they are where they are because of the investment that they have done even with this company, God. We pray that you continue to be with the company, that we continue to be open as much as we can. You continue to be with the members, that they will continue to patronize these particular products that we have. We bless you and we worship you, and much more. We pray for our government. We pray for peace wherever that we are, O King of praise. We pray for the leaders that you've given us, O Lord. May you give them wisdom in whatever that they are doing, O Lord. The Lord, this country shall be able to move forward, O God. Not back, but forward, O King of praise. We praise you, we worship you. In Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen. Amen. God bless you so much.